Hi, everybody. Welcome to Eya at 10. Hi. It's so lovely to be together. I'm here. My name is Allison Mondel. I'm here with my amazing colleagues, Crossley Hawn and Kristen Dubenion-Smith. And we are here the week of our big performance and the culminating week of this fall season. It has been crazy. And we wanted to come together and have this opportunity to celebrate our 10th anniversary in a more casual conversation, and to also have you join us and ask any questions that you might have. But this is a nice opportunity for us to reminisce and to look back and really celebrate what we've done and what we've accomplished, and to bring some really good friends into the conversation too. So, oh my goodness, we are a musical ensemble, and I think we just need to start off with some music. So we are going to hear a number of beautiful things this afternoon. The first thing is from our first record, Stella Serena, and it is a piece called Salve Virgo Tonantis Solium, and I invite you to have a listen.
I think we're not getting any sound. Allie, can you hear me? Okay.
Sorry, everybody. I'm having a great time over here. So no sound coming through. Oh no. Okay, well, we're going to try that again. Sorry, everybody. Okay. We're going to start that over, everybody, because I think it's so gorgeous. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll just keep going. Okay, here's the next thing we're going to do. Take two. Oh, well. Oh, no. My friends, it has been several weeks of like learning how to be a media producer in addition to being a professional musician and a director. And oh my goodness. Okay.
2020.
The curse of 2020.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link on this post to a SoundCloud playlist so you can hear all of the gorgeous songs that we were intending to share with you, and maybe I'll figure that out in a little bit. Okay, so what I wanted to do was talk about the origins of Eya. And it's been 10 years, which means that we initiated this group in 2010 here in Washington, D.C. And that group was really a collaboration between 3 people. It was not Kristen and Crossley and Allison. It was actually, Crossley came on a few years later. But I was so excited to invite our original founding member, Bethy Hungerford, to this conversation. So I'm going to bring Bethy on. Yay. Hi, Bethy.
Hi, all the way from London. It's nighttime here, so I have lots of lights on.
So Bethy is calling in from London, England, but I would love to reminisce a little bit, you guys, and thinking back to that time. And I wanted to really offer our audience the origin story, how this thing happened. And I'll start, and then I'd love for you to jump in and fill in the blanks a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
So going through grad school, I became completely enamored of medieval music, and I had it in my mind and in my heart that I wanted to have an ensemble, a real working, doing it for real ensemble. And I came to Peabody Conservatory one day. I was teaching a class for Mark Sudak, and it was the class I teach for the early vocal literature class. It was on the music of Hildegard von Bingen, so many of our fans know that we've been focusing on that this fall. So I was there, and I walked in, and there was this lovely person sitting down, and she was sort of staring at me very keenly. And I thought, what a beautiful, interesting person. I'm going to teach this class now. So I noticed it.
And I can say that when you walked in,
yeah,
I was staring at you weirdly because I saw you and I knew in my brain and my heart that we were going to be friends.
right.
I just knew it. I knew it.
Love
and
that.
And it came true. I manifested it. I needed it to happen, and it did.
Let that be evidence that manifestation is possible. Oh, that makes me want to cry. So that was a really beautiful day. And then we kept in touch and we became friends. And I revealed to you my secret plans to dominate the world and start a medieval ensemble. And you said, I know the perfect mezzo. And then came Kristen. And I had never met Kristen. And I remember you came to my apartment and I baked cupcakes.
That's right.
And we met for the first time. And I thought, let's see where this goes. And so we grew this thing from seed. And it was really kind of wonderful and interesting. I felt like my dream was coming true, and to see this really happening. And
do you remember how we came up with the name?
Yes. I have a picture in my mind.
Bethy's living room.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We went through a dictionary.
We all had
a Latin dictionary.
We all had Latin books that
I had my scores.
I was looking through like Latin church books, just looking through text. I was that pregnant.
Yes.
You were so pregnant.
Sitting in a rolly chair. I remember that specifically.
Oh, because I had sciatica.
Yes.
So badly, I couldn't move. That was fun. And my recollection is that I found the name, but
you did.
I don't remember. So
I remember.
You may claim it.
No, you did. It was crystal clear. But the cool thing was, it was very synchronistic. I was looking at some of the music from the Jesse Tree program. This was our first program that we were putting together, and I was looking at a text, and you said, "B, what about the word Eya?" I love that word. And I was looking at the word Eya at the moment you mentioned. So great. So I love that. So we were like, yes, it has been dubbed. So that was so exciting. And I have a wonderful photo of our very first concert. I'm going to share with everyone.
My guess is that I'm sitting
Are
down.
you sitting in a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
Yeah. There it is.
I was pregnant and I couldn't move. And I had to sit there all throughout the intermission, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Trooper. You're such a trooper.
You guys walked off stage for intermission. I was like, we didn't think about this. I'm just sitting here.
I think we rolled you up there like in a rolly chair. You should have just stayed in the rolly chair. So we could have just rolled you back.
But you didn't.
Sorry. That's why you left the group. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and that's why I left.
Oh, I'm dying. That is so funny.
But then shortly after, somebody said my volume is low. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Shortly after that, I ended up moving to London, and honest to God, and I might cry. I might cry. More than family, more than Mexican food, more than Target. I was most heartbroken to leave Eya. And I'm still heartbroken about it. Because it was such a magical group of people and a magical the whole thing was just magic. And I will regret moving to London until the day I die because I had to leave Eya. Yeah. It's such a special group.
Well, you're our family.
Don't make me cry more.
I know, I already cried.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to show another photo because you came back.
Yes, I did. I was
right.
Too.
Look at these babies, these little babies recording a song. And I love this photo here.
Oh, I was pregnant there.
Yes.
I only have 2 kids for the record. That was the first shot.
That was the first shot.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Incredible.
And then we took like 500 more and then we settled on the first photo.
That's right. That's right. And another interesting thing about the sort of Eya story is the places that we all connected, because it was actually through the cathedral that we all ended up, the Washington National Cathedral, that we all ended up having some very important connection to, which of course is how we also got to know Crossley a generation later after this sort of incubation time and then that sort of first germination of our group. This photo, I want everyone to know, was taken by Kristen's husband, Anthony, who did all of our Eya photographs. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love this photo so much. And it was taken at Dumbarton Oaks, which is another special place. I used to work at Dumbarton Oaks, and we also had the very great pleasure of going back to Dumbarton Oaks several times to perform, and most recently with our wonderful friend Gabby Solis, who's going to join us later too. So Dumbarton Oaks is another one of those places that means a lot to me and has been a regular sort of mainstay of this group. So, oh my goodness. Becky, have you been doing any other medieval music at all?
Well, if this is attracting early music people, they will know who Emma Kirkby is. And she's become a friend of mine, which is like, dream come true. So she actually I get emails from her. It's very like
I
weird.
love it.
So she emailed me right because we're in another lockdown right now in the UK, and right before lockdown, she emailed me saying, "Hey, can you come help run this Hildegard retreat?" Because she had asked to do it last year, and I did, and I ended up like taking over a bunch of sessions and stuff because I was like, "That's kind of 80s interpretation of." Let's just expand our palettes a little bit. So she ended up having me run a bunch of sessions, and I just
That's
kept
great.
this needs to be Allie. She's the expert. But then she emailed me a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, can you come back and do this year as well?" And then I wrote back. I was like, "Yes, absolutely." And then she wrote back. She was like, "JK." She didn't say that, but
Yeah.
because now we're in lockdown again, so we
Can't
can't
go.
It'll be rescheduled. Yeah. So I've been singing at I have a church gig here, and it's great, Renaissance Polyphony and all of that. But yeah, not quite anything near what Eya is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we love you and we miss you, and we all watch you from the bleachers.
Oh.
So Bethy, I want people to know about what you do now, like sort of as an outcropping of you're moving to London, and really like a comet, just sort of all of these amazing pathways and this really strong trajectory that you've taken in a different direction. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I moved here right after having my first child, who is now nearly 10. And it was very hard getting my foot in the door in London musically. So I kept flying back to perform in America, and it just wasn't sustainable to do that. So I was kind of at a loss, and I just started blogging about things that I found interesting, namely food. And that turned into a whole big thing on Instagram and in the blogosphere. And I have a cookbook that came out this year with HarperCollins, which is very cool. And now I make videos, and I'm a presenter for a company that works with craft gins and other small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a TV commercial at the moment. So it's just a bunch of, I had podcasts for a while. I just kind of, keep going. But yeah, I I wish I could still do Eya. Luckily, you guys have Crossley, who is lovely. Crossley, I am incredibly jealous.
Oh, no.
And honestly, when your emails come through and when stuff goes on Facebook, like it's hard. It's like watching an ex-boyfriend like get married to, some super hot doctor. And like, I don't want to
Oh,
see
really?
that. That's gonna make me cry again. Honestly, it just makes me so emotional because Eya is so special, and was such a special part of my life while it was in my life. Yeah.
Well, we owe a lot to you for being part of this.
For
Yeah.
naming it.
This
Yeah, for naming the group. Yeah, we love you so much.
Well, for also being a very, very instrumental in helping me find the courage to launch something that I thought, who's going to want to hear this? It's your friendship, and it's the fact that you believed in me and you believed in
100%.
Kristen.
Yes. Do you
And
remember when I introduced Kristen to you? I said she is the most incredible singer. but I don't know if you'll like her personality because she's a bit cray. And
I'm a bit of a foghorn and I don't hold back. So
yes, which is what I
sorry.
personally adore about you, but it's not for everyone. And
I'm an acquired taste.
So
It's
am
true.
I. And I know that. And I think that's what makes us great is that it's not for everyone. But I was like, Allie, I know you'll love her voice. I know you will. And I should have known if you were friends with me that you could be friends with Kristen. But I was like, let's see if you guys get along. Because I think of Allie as this like hippy dippy, spiritual, like super chill. And Kristen is like, my mic isn't on. Wait, my mic on. In the most lovable way, Kristen.
Thanks.
But you guys met and immediately hit it off. Immediately.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that you guys are still doing it without me.
Well, oh my goodness. We have so much else to talk about, although I would just like, I feel like I'm having a coffee or a cup of tea with all of you right now.
Tea time at my house. I have my kids tonight and it's nighttime. So.
Well, if you are interested in learning about Bethy's work, her Instagram handle is Hunger Mama, and it's just and you can of course follow her. But Bethy, oh my goodness, it is so wonderful to talk with you. I feel your presence, and I love you, and I'm so grateful and honored that you came to talk with us.
You're gonna make me cry again. I hold my computer so it doesn't fall.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
right.
better. That's
I
better.
love you
Good. Yeah.
so much, and thank you for having me on. And congratulations to Eya on 10 years.
Thanks, Bethy.
Thanks, Bethy.
I love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Back to our present moment here, where we have so many other things I wanted to talk about with Kristen and Crossley. So, Kristen and Crossley, I thought it would be really wonderful, and everybody that's listening at home, I would love to also hear any of your thoughts, or if you have any questions. Okay, because I think, over 10 years, we've acquired a lot of performances under our belts and programs. We've also worked with other people, and I wanted to give a shout out to some of our other friends that have joined us. But I wanted to ask you guys what some of your favorite programs are and why.
Should I start?
Yeah.
So my favorite program is Heartform. It's different than what we usually do. There's some, Hildegard and familiar things there too, but it's early Renaissance music, and it's just so sumptuous. And it also features two of our colleagues and friends, Richard Einhorn and Douglas Buchanan, who's Baltimore based, who have two absolutely amazing pieces, like two of my favorite pieces on that program. It's just such a good program. I could probably sing it every day and be happy.
What about you, Cross?
This is a hard question because each program is so different, and each program has something that I absolutely love. But I would probably have to say our Christmas program, Not Tu Sest Rex, because I am a sucker for candlelit concerts and Christmas music. And that concert, I don't know, that every time we sing that program, I leave with like this centered, peaceful feeling. And I also really, I like Greenwood a lot because I'm just so in love with the tune of Robin Mem. Yeah, I remember hearing that like my first year of music history in college, and I had never really heard much medieval music, and I heard that tune. Da, 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 da. And I was like, what is this? I have to know what this is. So I told Allie, I love this, and if we ever have a chance to sing it. And so she programmed a concert around that tune, which was amazing.
Well, I think that is an excellent segue to act, because it reminds me of when you first sang with us. That was our first show, that Greenwood program, was it not?
No.
No?
Pilgrimage was our first program with Crossley.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah.
But I remember doing Greenwood at Georgetown, and I remember you, and you were like, practically, you were trembling like a.
No, that was Pilgrimage.
That was
or Stella Serena. Yeah. Greenwood was a couple years later, but
okay.
Our first concert at Georgetown, I literally was like shaking like a leaf. I was so nervous.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why were you nervous?
Well, okay, because I had like admired Eya for a couple of years by that point, because I joined in 2012. And I remember like back in 10 or 11 seeing Eya. I actually was introduced to Eya via Facebook, and I saw it pop up. One of you guys probably posted something about it, and I looked into it, and I was like, oh my God, like a trio of women performing medieval music. This is the best thing ever. And I remember sending a little message to the group being like, hey, I'm super into what you're doing. If you have concerts, please add me to your mailing list. In the background, I'm like, or if you ever need another soprano to like join and be a 4-person concert, I'm here and I would love to. Yeah, so I had long admired Eya, and then to be part of it and to be doing my first concert was overwhelming for me. Yeah.
I still feel that way sometimes. I felt that way on one of, I would say, my newest favorite program, because I feel like they're all these special babies. Like, how do you choose one? But there's some I wouldn't mind leaving off to the side. But for me, it was the Bridget program that we just recently premiered in February. This was such a, it was, I don't know, I felt like I moved into like a different world when that program was conceived. It was just, it felt like it was, a lot of these programs feel like whispers in my ear, like, you should try this, something like that. But the Bridget program, I remember in February when we presented that, I was trembling like a leaf. I could not settle my nerves. And it was unnerving to not be able to settle my nerves. But it was still really meaningful and amazing, even though I had all this adrenaline and yeah. Oh my gosh, I love our programs. I love Heartform 2K. I just love that program. And that's something we hope to record someday too. Yes, to bring that. And I love those two pieces by Doug and Richard too. I was going to ask, I know I have a very specific answer to this, but what is one of your favorite things about singing with Eya?
The camaraderie. We can come together and sing something and talk about it and try it out. And there's no judgment. Like, say, like, I'm like, and I come into a rehearsal and we sing through stuff and there's no like, oh, what's wrong with her voice today? It's comfortable. And we're all friends and colleagues and it feels safe. And it's an enjoyable rehearsal and concert experience versus like, oh, I have to go to rehearsal. Is this over yet? Because usually we start rehearsals and end them. I mean, depending on where we're rehearsing, we used to gather at Allie's house a lot. And that would just basically be like, we would go there to like hang out and eat and then like rehearse like this much. Like Anthony would always say, "Are you like going to actually rehearse today, or are you just like going to hang out?" And I'm like, "We'll rehearse like a song." So that's what I love. It's like a little family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we each bring something very different because we're each so different as people, and I think that's really cool. Like, I feel like Kristen is sort of our sound world foundation, of course, because she's the lowest voice, but also just like her personality, like she's just boom. And then Allie is the one with these gorgeous, sort of loftier, heady ideas. And it's, I mean, you know, you bring so much of like this into rehearsal, which is awesome. And then I feel like I'm kind of glue. So it's really cool. And I have to say, like, my favorite moments with you guys are cadences at the ends of polyphony, generally speaking. It's just like, oh, it's just great. It feels so good when it locks, and it usually does with our voices. So it's just like, yeah, it's a great feeling.
I feel the same way. I love that. I would say, sort of, in addition to that, I think about this a lot, you know, as a voice coach, and thinking a lot about my voice and how I feel about my voice and how I use my voice. And I never feel more at home than when I sing with you guys. I feel like my voice, and I sing every day, but I sit at this piano and I sing, and I never feel as comfortable as I do when I'm with you. It feels like home. It feels like stable and comfortable. Like I'm just like stepping into my comfortable clothes. And I never worry about my voice. I mean, I might be nervous or I might think about something, but I always feel like you're my safety net, like having our voices together. So I don't think I've ever said that to you guys. So it's really the way it feels. And I hear a lot of people come to me say, I really want to sing with a small group. And I think, yes, you should. It is one of the most wonderful things in the world. And, you know, as we all know right now, this is really difficult. It's really challenging. And it's a reality we're all facing, being at home and having to curtail our performance activities for the most part. And but I do encourage anyone who is interested in having that experience to just go for it, and don't worry about the right music or the right people. Even just get your feet wet and do it. Well, you guys, this was the place where I was going to play some gorgeous Irish music, but I'm just not going to attempt that. I will encourage everyone to go. I'm going to pop a link in the on our Facebook page to check that out, or on YouTube, to go and hear this beautiful piece. It's a moment, though, that I want to talk about our collaborators, because after, you know, hearing about these programs that we've been doing, I would say the majority of our programs invite a collaboration with either other singers or other players. And on top of that, there are also times when the three of us, our bodies cannot be in the same room at the same time, for health reasons or professional reasons or personal reasons. So there's wonderful people that we have that we work with. And I wanted to, and I really hope I made this exhaustive list. I wanted to honor them and acknowledge them, and then talk a little bit about the future. So everybody, here we have, I'm going to show some pictures here. I think you all will love this picture. So here we have our friend Sarah and our friend Riley, who's now passed, Riley Lewis, a mainstay of the Washington, D.C. choral scene, and our friend Sarah Davis Eiselcorey, who joined us for this performance here of Voices of Light, which was easily, I'm sure you guys would agree, one of the best things we ever did. Here we are at the National Cathedral. Riley is conducting, and here's Eya in the to his right on the left of the screen, and this incredible image of Joan of Arc, silent film, scored by Richard Einhorn, who, as you mentioned before, a wonderful composer based in New York, who we love singing his music. And there's another picture of Sarah that I wanted to show here. This picture, all taken in my backyard. Oh my goodness. And here we have, I wanted to show this picture. Here is the three of us with our friend Nola Richardson recording our first CD, Stella Serena. And this is in Bethlehem Chapel in Washington Cathedral.
I'm so tan.
You, Crossley has some kind of foot implement.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'd recently sustained a bit of an injury.
And lovely, lovely Nola, who is just, it's so cool to see where Nola's career is going right now with her singing. She's a phenomenal Baroque specialist. And I wanted to show another one of my favorite pictures. Here we have our amazingly, fabulously talented friend, Niccolò Seligman, on the ground. He is representing the juggler of the legend, the juggler of Notre Dame, the juggler of Our Lady, he's holding his vielle. He fiddled in front of a statue of the Virgin Mary all night, according to legend. This is at Dumbarton Oaks. And here we have another beautiful collaborator. This is Gabby Solis, Gabriella Stephanie Solis, who is a lovely singer and one of our friends here. And I have I of course want to mention our newest collaborator, but I'll talk about her in just a moment. But here, everybody, here are the amazing artists that we've worked with. On the left, you see our singers, Robin Smith Beckman, Beffy, who you met, Sarah Davis Eiselcorey, Lucy McVeigh, Nola Richardson, Gabriella Solis, and my good friend Robert Susuma. And then on the right here, we have some instrumentalists, John Armato on lute, Cynthia Cathcart on the clarzach and the Celtic harp, Richard Girousseau, baritone extraordinaire, also happens to be my amazing husband. Brian Kay, another multi-instrumentalist, like our friend Niccolò, who plays lute, percussion, many different interesting instruments. And our friend Paula Most, harpsichordist, who joined us for our Venus program, and Niccolò, of course. Isn't it cool to see all of those amazing people there? I love that. So the next thing I wanted to show were our two records. Here we have our two records that are available on our website, but I'm going to encourage everyone to go to Spotify or YouTube, and you can hear the tracks from these. Stella Serena was published in 2013. The Three Marys, also one of my favorite programs, released 2018. And we actually have our beautiful friend Gabby here, but our internet connection may not be working. I'm going to see if we can get Gabby on and say hi. We'll see. I don't know. Gabby, can you hear us?
Yay!
Gabby! Hey, Gabby! Hey, Gabby!
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's so great to see you. Gabby, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Haverford College, where I moved to because my partner got a tenure track job teaching chemistry, and I'm also teaching a first-year writing course here. So,
Nice.
hi everyone.
So you are in Pennsylvania, not too far from my hometown, actually, which is Monroe County, Pennsylvania. So I wanted to introduce Gabby because Gabby is joining us. So you saw her in her Dumbarton Oaks photo with Niccolo sprawled on the ground. And that was 2019. And I wanted to introduce Gabby because she's joining us for our Friday performance. I'm so excited for Friday's performance. And I also wanted to tie that in with how we met you, which was actually through an Irish connection, or I should say an Ireland connection. And the way that works, I love this, because I think so much about who we know and what we do and who we become connected to is through other people, through our networks, but networking in the best sense of that word. When I was in Ireland doing research on the Bridget program, I was at Trinity College Dublin, and then I moved west to Limerick, where I gave a concert and a workshop on Hildegard's music. And I met with a graduate student who was working there. This was, I always mess up the name, it's the University of Limerick Irish World Center. I'm going to mess that up. It's an incredible music school in Limerick. It was heavenly to be there. And I met Victoria Fraser, who wrote to me and said, I would really like you to meet my friend Gabby. She just moved to Washington, D.C., or Baltimore, I think. You were in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
And she's new and she doesn't know anybody. So I wrote to you and we met, we talked. And then one thing led to another. And we ended up working together and inviting you into Eya. And so I wanted to ask you, how are you attracted to medieval music? Like, what was the thing that brought you into the fold in your own life and in your own experience?
I think as a little kid, I was so geeky. I was really into the kind of like children's medievalism, like generalized commercial medievalism for kids. Like, I loved The Sword and the Stone. It was one of my favorite movies. Like Hunchback of Notre Dame. I read The Mists of Avalon like 20 times. The Door in the Wall. I was obsessed with it. And even going into my undergrad, like my senior thesis in my undergrad was the Anglo-Saxon comitatus as represented in Beowulf and other Anglo-Saxon Old English poetry. So when I started singing medieval music, Gregorian chant, with William Mart, who's a specialist scholar at Stanford, it just kind of felt like the next step. It just felt really natural. Like, okay, it's time to sing the music that I've been kind of listening to since I was a kid. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then, of course, I went to Notre Dame for grad school with Victoria, and Notre Dame has a really phenomenal medieval studies program. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a part of that, but I benefited from it. Right, Margot Fassler's a great scholar there. Same with Alexander Blatchley, and I got to take classes with them and do a lot of projects with them. So I've been really lucky to have that medieval music education.
Those are two amazing music sort of pillars of the medieval world. I would love to work with them sometime. Yes. Okay, Kristen just wrote she's going to come back. Well, Gabby, I wanted to ask you, what have you taken away from working with Eya? And I realize this is like my son. I'm putting you under the grill, and I'm not. I'm just genuinely curious.
I mean, like you had said, there's something really special about small ensemble, especially one on a part, super tiny ensemble like Eya. And every time I get asked to sing with Eya, I see it as such a tremendous opportunity and such a wonderful privilege, because I don't get to do I don't get to sing a lot of medieval music. It's just not
Yeah.
on the circuit as much as Bach, other classical music, or even opera, which is really not comparable. So the reason I love singing with Eya is because of, like Crossley said, the camaraderie. Every time I come in, I feel like I'm coming into a space that is dedicated to the most positive, beautiful, pure production of music, right? Connecting at the human level and not just, let's make sure we get these notes correct. I mean, we do that, and that is important. But there's a layer of depth with Eya that you and Crossley always bring to rehearsals and concerts, and I appreciate that so much.
Thanks, Gabby. That's beautiful. I feel the same way.
And like career-wise, Crossley mentioned how she had always looked up to Eya, and I kind of had the similar situation. I was new to the scene. I had heard about Crossley and Kristen and Eya, and I had heard such great things. And so when I was asked to step in, I just thought, like, wow, I'm so lucky to get to sing with these people. and then just to be frank, Crossley and you, Allison, too, but you both connected me to pretty much every significant gig I've had in DC. So in addition to just being like really wonderful people to sing with, you also provided me with other singing opportunities, and I'll always be super thankful for that.
Well, you're such a great performer, Gabby, and we're happy to have you whenever we can, whenever Kristen is not available. So thank you for your willingness to participate so beautifully and all of your being as well. It's great.
Yay. Well, Kristen is back. I'm going to bring her back. Yay.
Sorry. I had some technical difficulties. I'm fine now.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh. So this has been so much fun for me. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about our performance on Friday and this season, and to it's been so cool to actually sort of look back and to see now like how Eya has been moving into, I would say, a new direction, a direction that feels like it has some more fire, some more direction and purpose in terms of how our artistry is really serving the world, not just the people that come to the shows. We love them and we need them, but it's really, I think, seeing how our voices are a medium for bringing light and healing to our whole planet. And I think that is one of the greatest privileges that we have as an ensemble. And that's our actual voices and our metaphorical voice too. And I wonder how you guys feel about this program on Friday that I'll introduce to, and just like all of the events that have happened so far. I'll start. So first I'll say that this Friday at 7:30 Eastern Time, we're presenting one of our new programs, and it's called Beguiled. And if you're following Eya, I'm sure you've heard of it, and we really hope that you'll join us. This program came about over the summer when the pandemic came upon us, and it became very clear that the normal sort of route of our performance lives, which is being invited by venues and like coming for appearances at venues, wasn't happening. But we also thought, oh my goodness, it's our 10th anniversary and there's so much to celebrate. And we're not just going to throw in the towel, and we could be dormant for a year, but that's not my style. I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to really honor what has happened. And I also wanted to catalyze the group into that more sort of focused visionary kind of outlook. And so this season, this Eya Attend season came about where we have weekly events and all culminating to this performance that focuses on, I was looking at the music of Hildegard, and I kept looking at the music that she wrote devoted to Mary and seeing this really painful connection that she always drew to Eve in the Garden of Eden and the sin of Eve. And I thought so many thoughts, and I've certainly spoken about it in other places, but I wanted to build a program where we are not only sort of presenting this music of Hildegard, but actually responding to it. So as an artist and as an ensemble, looking at this ancient music, but actually acknowledging our 21st century-ness. That I don't agree with what Hildegard says. Hildegard lived 900 years ago and we're very different people. I love the music of Hildegard, but I have my own response to that. And I think as contemporary women, we're all going to respond to, the words and poetry and worldview of medieval texts in a different way, even though we love Sword in the Stone. Hello, that's the best movie ever. But the fact is, the whole world just felt like it needs healing, and it still does. And especially just wanting to have as many women come to the table as we can. And I very serendipitously came upon the work of Shanda Rule, who we asked to commission a piece. So this is my other collaborator extraordinaire that I wanted to introduce you all to, but you've already met her already. I'm going to show you this incredible photo of her. Shanda lives, I love her dress, and she's holding a book. And this book is some kind of magical talisman, because there's something so incredibly powerful about the words that she crafts. And she's crafted a new piece called Beguiled, Eve Revisited. And so it's Shanda's response to the book of Genesis. And then we'll be presenting Chants of Hildegard to sort of interweave with her story. And then, of course, this community piece that we've also been airing out a bit, and hope that our audience at home will join in. So this is a really interesting concert. It's crazy, actually. And I feel like having us all be at home actually did fertilize the soil that brings this kind of creative endeavor about. So, oh my gosh, that was a lot of talking. I'm sorry about that. But I mean, Kay, what do you think about this season so far, and this sort of reinvigoration of Eya?
Well, I've really enjoyed and appreciated kind of our outreach. Like, we've been able to go beyond our little DC pod. Anyone, anywhere can access our content, our weekly events, the concert on Friday. That's really exciting. And I hope that we can take this new skill that we've learned and kind of combine it with our in-person stuff moving forward. I think it's really smart and savvy. And I look forward to seeing where that goes.
Yeah, I sort of see this season as an extension of what we started with Bridget's Circle. That's when we really started to build our wider community with primarily women. And this season has just taken that sort of feeling and expanded it, worldwide, which has been cool. We've had people join from across the pond, and it's been really nice. And I've also sort of been struck by just the amount of variety that we've had this season. I think it's really nice, like You can drop in if you enjoy this lecture, or you can drop in if you're more interested in singing with Eya, or you can drop in for, people can pick and choose what they want, what they're interested in, what they want to come to. But I hope folks will attend the culmination, as it were, on Friday, because I think it'll be a really cool experience.
What are you looking forward to, Gabby?
I'm looking forward to singing with both of you again. This will be my first singing project since the pandemic. So I think I've saved it for a very good group. So I'm looking forward to it. And I always appreciate Eya's programming and the attempt to not ignore social issues in the world. I really appreciate that.
Gabby. I don't know if anyone who's watching has any questions, but you're so welcome to drop them into the chat. We see them. I want to invite you all again to our performance on Friday. You can get a ticket at our website, eyaensemble.com. They're $15. And it's an amazing variety of media that we're using in this performance. So this too is also going to be extraordinary. That we have live video and pre-recorded video, and artists literally all over the world. Shanda is in Vienna, Austria. So we have this real team effort going on, and I think it's actually the coolest thing in the world. And I think the program is going to be extraordinary. The piece, this new commission, I told Shanda this, but when I got it and I started reading, I started weeping on top of my laptop. It was that powerful, and it's exactly the kind of work and vision that I have for Eya, and how we use our voices to really be a balm and to raise up women's voices everywhere. I think that's so amazing. Everybody, you've all been amazing. Thank you for staying with us, for catching us on this replay. I am just going to say some very obligatory things because they are important. That if you follow Eya, I'm so proud and happy. If you don't, could you please follow Eya? We have a mailing list too that you can join on our website. Of course, Facebook and Instagram. And as I mentioned, you can go and listen on SoundCloud and Spotify and YouTube as well, to some amazing things. And we do have a couple of exciting future projects for recording. And of course, we have a spring season that begins in February that is very much going to be just so rich and inviting for everybody. So I hope there's something for everybody. And we'll be looking at the voice of women mystics. So this will be really cool. So this will span many time periods as well. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to go get your ticket for Friday's performance. You all are the best. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I didn't check if there's any more questions. Okay, Emily. Thanks, Em. All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.